I remember when you came in the clinic, we sat down and you were right next to me in the chair and we talked about it, how it wasn't the right time for you to come into the clinic because you needed to go through certain things. You needed to find a better understanding, work with Paul, continue to optimize yourself. But can you kind of clarify that for someone listening? Because I've had so many people that have been like, hey, I want to come to the clinic. It's like, are you ready? And they're like, what do you mean? I just want to get better. Exactly. I'm like, no, are you ready? Can you go into what that means to be ready to take on something like, let's say, treatment here or coming in here, and why you took over a year, I would say, at least, in getting ready in a sense, and then came in?
Yeah, it was over a year, and it was lots of conversations over Instagram between us for me to come in. And I think if I think back on like what actually happened, I remember I was on a plane after one of our games, and my energy didn't feel good, and I didn't play good, and I was just kind of like depressed, and I was like, all right, like I just need to watch something. I was kind of just, always the same stuff. Like, how can I get a little bit better? I like to watch movies, but can the movie be about something? So I'm also learning at the same time. So I found Root Cause on Netflix and I watched it, and I was like, okay, this is like something with your wisdom teeth, or like the infections of, the root canal, the wisdom teeth. I'm like, all right, this is so weird. Like, it just makes sense. So I tracked down you guys through that. And I can't remember. I just called and I said like, hey, I want to make a clinic or an appointment at the clinic. And I flew there, and I didn't realize that you're there for like, a week or two. Like, sometimes the treatments take a while. I thought it was just like a normal doctor's visit. Like, you come in and, you meet with the doctor, boom, see ya. Yeah. I got there and we did the formality. I met your dad and we were talking about my plan, and it's like 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm checking on my hotel in 2 hours. What do you mean? so I was like, all right, well, clearly I'm not ready for this. So I am going to check out of my hotel, but like, cool, this is how it goes. And I in the moment, I didn't really know what was going on, but I knew that this is where I was meant to be. And like, that was kind of what it was about, but I didn't understand the timing, I guess. Yeah. So it just kind of unfolded, and there was just a lot of introspection, a lot of thoughts. And I realized that, fast forward now, when I came to the clinic, there's a lot of different things that you guys are doing to detox your body and all those things. And I realized that I wasn't prepared to understand how I could help detox it. Like, if I was so busy and crazy, like there's a lot of things. All the treatments you go to at the clinic and you go back and you just go back to your same kind of busy lifestyle, whatever, you don't let your body to relax and allow the healing to occur. So I think that was a majority of like what I learned, was how to calm my mind and just be like intentional behind my actions. Like, there's a lot going on. You guys are healing my body. And if I was crazy doing all this stuff and busy and not understanding like what was going on, I think that the healing wouldn't have helped. I don't know. It just would have been a waste. I don't know if that makes sense or if that answers your question, but I think it was just like, that's where I was at in my life. I was a little bit chaotic, and that's what Paul taught me, how to chill that out.
Yeah. And I really do appreciate that, again, that you're an athlete, that you could see that you need to dedicate yourself to this, right? Yeah. Like you said, this isn't just you walk into a doctor's office, like 30 minutes later, they're like, here's the pill. Like, we may do a few treatments in the future. We're giving you a whole plan as if you are training to be a professional athlete, which is serious. Yeah. You can't just be like, oh, I'll do a couple hours a day on the side of this. Like, that you got to dedicate yourself wholly to being the best person to be a professional athlete. So otherwise you won't make it. Healing isn't any different. People think they're like shortcuts or it's going to be easy. No, you got to dedicate yourself to it. You got to be in the right state of mind. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, since you probably came, that's been a big undertaking, is like informing people to get them to be ready, to understand that it's dedication. It's going to be changing your life. To heal is to really change, right? Yeah. And not just your body, but your mindset, your kind of purpose, like all of that. And so that's really, I thought it was really great of you that you took that time. It wasn't, I was like, oh man, Rem isn't committed to this or anything. Like, we kept talking through that. And I was like, oh, it's awesome. You're connected with Paul. You're learning this. And then when you were ready, you're like, all right, let's do it right. Now that I know a little bit more, I'm in the right mind state. Let me come in.